Now, whether or not you have kids or never had a kid of your own, I'm pretty sure you perhaps have gone through some type of abuse or post traumatic stress of some type from your parents. Because guess what? I'm starting to really discover that the main reason, perhaps, for the extreme quiet masses of people is perhaps due to past abuse. We'll discover that pretty soon. Now, what I mean by that is because we'll discover later on in this stream that abuse has long-term, I'm talking very long-term consequences, side effects. We'll go over those. So, let's go ahead and just proceed. There's no real way to get into it, but just to get into it. So last time we covered the silent treatment, and today is spanking, otherwise known as corporal punishment, or what I like to define as abuse. Spanking is abuse. I don't care who you are, what you believe, how passive you are, especially passive aggressive. You want to live in denial and don't call spanking abuse? That's your problem, not mine. We do not, and I repeat, we do not bring children into this world to suffer. Have we not learned anything? There's already enough suffering in this world. There always has been, always will be, apparently. As long as we can continue to ignore and avoid the power of love and its many benefits. So that's that. Spanking is perhaps, I believe it's the most ignorant form of discipline. In fact, it's not even discipline. We'll find out later on. The most ignorant form of so-called discipline there is. How much intelligence does it take to hit someone or something? Let's just say punch a wall. Or slap a little kid who's still trying to get used to this world. I mean, do you remember when you were trying to get used to this world? All the stresses? I mean, kids are growing up fast. You know, they're going through physical changes, mental changes, emotional changes constantly. That's why they play hard and they rest hard. Because they have to recuperate, they have to regenerate, they have to grow, they have to learn, many times the hard way. Because school, I don't care if you're in private school or public school, it's harsh. Life is already harsh enough outside of the home for children. In fact, those are perhaps so stressful. Probably the most stressful part of my life was just growing up. School was really stressful. You have stupid homework assignments, which were redundant and unnecessary, took away from your free time at home. Because you're still getting to know your own parents and family, for crying out loud. No time to play outside because you're busy with homework, right? You got to get those grades up. And then I disagree with the schooling system wholeheartedly. There's so many things that we don't even need to learn in school. It's garbage. Just learn the essentials. How to read, how to write, how to do basic math, science experiments. Okay, don't mess with this, don't mess with that. See what happens when this explodes and that, just learn a little bit, right? A little bit of biology, sociology. But all these stupid homework assignments and tests and quizzes, they just add stress to a child's life. Oh, but we got to train them for the future. No, because the future's going to be filled with stress anyways. You're just ruining their childhood. And then guess what? When they come home, children have stress too. They have baggage of their own. They don't know what to do with it. So if they tend to vent themselves on their own parents, try to take it out, they don't know how to deal with their own emotions. It's already chaotic as it is when you're young. So why make it worse by, I don't like the word parental guardian. Guardian means like you're a prisoner of war. Like your cell guard. Cell block 1138. So here's prisoner number one, the child that I chose to bring into this life just to spank him because I don't know any other form of discipline. How ignorant is that, right? It was tough for me putting these slides together because I actually put some tears in my eye. And it's disgusting how many people out there don't give a damn about this. They see images like this and they just say, nah, let me go back to my cat videos. It's horrendous. Nobody cares. Children every day are suffering. Verbal abuse, physical abuse, just common stress from day-to-day life. And the parents, they act like they haven't been there before. Oh, when I was a kid, it was so much harder. So you have to make it hard on your kid too? So the cycle continues? We can't just give him everything that we didn't have. You know, where's the dignity? Welcome to the stream, Maria Olivares. Bienvenido. You know, this image right here was the worst. I mean, you know, it's a really good photo. Shows it all. Bringing children into this world just to suffer. Think about it. That's what you do when you spank your child. Oh, but it's just one spank. It's just 2 spanks. Oh, really? We're going to get into that. We'll see if it's just 1 or 2 spanks. So is spanking still used in the United States? Yes, sadly. And of course, across the world. Don't get it twisted. Of course, it's across the world. I mean, how many honorable people do you know who keep their hands off their kids in this fashion? And don't even get me into other forms of abuse, which I'm sure you guys are already well aware of. But spanking that's the start. That's how it starts. A large research study published in 2013 reported that 57% of mothers and 40% of fathers spank their 3-year-olds. 3 years old. What the heck do you know at 3 years old? Absolutely nothing. You don't even know your first name, much less your last name. 3 years old, people. Not even in preschool or kindergarten yet. When the children were 5, 52% of mothers and 33% of fathers reported spanking their children. That is striking, hitting the very things they call their loved ones. Absolutely pathetic. Does spanking work? It depends what you mean by work. Spanking a child will often reduce or stop a behavior in that moment. Yeah, just because something seems to work doesn't mean it makes it right. I could go shoot someone and that ends the fight, right? No, now I'm a murderer, right? You see how that works? Oh, but that's different. No, it's not different. It's the wrong application. It's not even a solution. Even then, it does not last. Of course it doesn't last. A child may stop the behavior, but will still feel angry. Of course, because you're creating a barrier now of you're breaking the trust. You're establishing resentment. Even a subconscious form of resentment between father and son, daughter and mother, etc. The child may repeat the behavior the next time they are feeling anger. Spanking is a form of punishment, not a form of discipline. No, it's a form of abuse. And that's that. Why isn't spanking a form of discipline? I hear it all the time. Oh, that's how you discipline. That's how you, nothing else works. Oh, just like your computer, you don't know how to restart your computer. So what? You just throw your computer against the wall and just break it? You think that's going to work, hotshot? Oh, but that's different. No, it's not. It's how to solve problems the right way. Oh, but you got to call the IT guy. But when it comes to your kids, you don't want to find out other forms of discipline. You just want to hit the kid, right? This is ridiculous. Discipline means to teach. I want you guys to take at least that away from the stream. If you have to take anything, take that. Discipline means to teach. Spanking is not teaching people. You want to go get in a fight? What does that teach you? Nothing. Violence begets violence, and so forth. The goal of discipline is to teach children appropriate behavior so that they are eventually able to be self-disciplined. Exactly. You have to teach them what's wrong, why it's wrong, and that they shouldn't be doing wrong because it has consequences. Secondary and tertiary effects, right? Third order effects. Spanking does not teach a child right from wrong. In fact, spanking teaches children that hitting is an acceptable response to anger or conflict. That's why we have boxing as entertainment, right? Spanking is useless. It teaches nothing. So, can spanking lead to aggression? Yes. Research suggests that children who are spanked on a regular basis are more likely to be aggressive in preschool and school. Spanking See, this is where bullies come from. I bet they were spanked as children. That's why they become bullies, because they want to emulate that behavior. They're like, ooh, that's power. I want that power. So they pick on someone smaller, not their own size, right? You're teaching your kid how to become a future cowardice, not honor and discipline. Not a respectable person. Just another Joe Schmo who knows nothing and just fights with the fists instead of his brain. Spanking models hitting and aggression as a way to solve problems or conflicts. Children are spanked because the adult sees their behavior as wrong. Oh boy, we're going to get into that. When a child sees someone else's behavior as wrong, hitting that person is the same solution to the child. Can spanking lead to abuse? Yes, it is abuse. Spanking becomes less effective each time. Sort of like caffeine, right? You need more and more. So you got to leave that stuff. Therefore, the adult needs to spank the child harder to be effective at stopping the child's behavior. This can quickly escalate into abuse. Parents who spank their children are almost more likely to use other forms of physical punishment. There you go, right? One thing leads to another. That's how it escalates. And then you wonder why police brutality exists, or why, some random guy out there wants to pull a gun on someone. This is where it starts. Believe it or not, it starts when they're very little and they're taught to fear and then to become the one who dishes out fear. See, they envy that power that the parents had over them. So they're like, ooh, I want to be like that one day. It's the dark side, people. The very dark evil that people supposedly are against. Well, prove it. Can spanking change my relationship with my child? Yes. Effective discipline is built on trust and security. Children learn best when they feel safe, respected, and cared for by an adult. It's the same thing as in a relationship. I mean, if you make your partner scared of you, that's called spousal abuse, right? Why is it any different with kids? That doesn't count. It's a relationship that you have with your kid. Spanking can send mixed messages to the child about whether the adult is a safe and secure base. There are future consequences. Aggressive, violent adults in the future. Are there any long-term effects of spanking? Absolutely. Researchers have found that children, you don't even need researchers. I mean, this is supposed to be common sense, but common sense isn't so common, unfortunately. Children who are spanked at 5 by their mothers show externalizing behaviors at 9. All right. This means that these children are more likely to show aggressive behaviors towards others. They are also more likely to not comply with adults. Children who are spanked by their fathers at 5 also show externalizing behaviors at 9. In addition, look at what we're creating, an army of future ignorant, violent, aggressive, out of control, probably demented, and demon-possessed adults in the future. That's what you're creating. And then people wonder why wars still exist, etc., etc. That it starts at home. In addition, these children have lower receptive vocabulary scores. In addition, pediatrics states the more children are spanked, the more anger they report as adults. The more likely they are to spank their own children. There you go. And the chain of abuse continues. The more likely they are to approve of hitting a spouse. There it is. And the more marital conflict they experience as adults. Failed relationships. Then what? Alcoholism, drugs, you name it. This is how it starts, people. You might think, oh, spanking is nothing. Oh, gee. When you go back to the beginning, this is what you find. Mommy and daddy issues. Violent adults, right? It's best to spoil your kids and see what happens. Let them decide if they want to be evil or not. But don't be evil to them. There are so many forms of disciplining. Like, just take away their Nintendo or their games. That should suffice. Let's see. An increased rates of crime and violence when used with older children and adolescents. Say word. Welcome viral opinion. Yeah, a lot of people were spanked as children, unfortunately. Past ignorant societies, go figure. So the cycle of abuse continues with future generations. That's not learning how to raise kids, people. We're supposed to be leading future leaders. Our replacements, if you will. So what's spanking gonna teach them? It's just like the stupidest form of supposed. It's not discipline. So here we go. Hard evidence. Spanking could lead to health problems, antisocial behavior. Why do you think so many people these days are quiet? Why do you think they're quiet? This is a big reason right here. They learn to be quiet, not to be vocal like myself. I'm a leader. I was spanked as a kid. But look what happened to me. I chose to not be antisocial. I choose to be a leader right here, right now. Where are your streams? Where are your videos teaching other people? Oh, I'm not into that stuff. You should be. Use your voice. Do something good out there. Whether it be in your home or outside, offline, online, do something. Because I can't fight it alone, right? Consequences of spanking. Future resentment. Stockholm Syndrome. So Stockholm Syndrome, really quickly for those who don't know. You're my prisoner, whether it be in war or whatever. So I give you a sandwich one day. You're like, oh, thank you for the sandwich. And you're my prisoner of war, by the way. Keep that in mind. And then I take away your ability to go to the bathroom, right? I say you can only go to the bathroom once. Oh, okay, thanks. At least I go to the bathroom. Next day I take away your sandwich. Oh, at least I can still go to the bathroom. And then the next day I take away your ability to go to the bathroom. And then guess what? Or at least I'm in a cell and at least I have water. Then I take away your water. See, Stockholm Syndrome is you begin to start building an affectionate relationship with your master, your guardian, in a very bad way. It's a desperate way. As you're desperate for some type of, justification as to why you're being tortured, abused. So, that's how that works. Stockholm Syndrome. Please go research the definition on that. So, teach your children to listen, be a leader, be a teacher. That's what this is all about. Each and every single day, just like I preach perfect soulmates. Perfection does exist, and it's on a day-to-day basis. No, you don't have to be a robot. We're better than robots. We have feelings. We have emotions. Robots can't do that. Robots can do a given task every single day. But not only can we do that, if you dedicate yourself to it, because we do, right? When we have to go to the bathroom, we go to the bathroom. You got to take a shower, you take a shower. You got to brush your teeth. You don't second question that. So why should you second question being the best you can be with your partner, being the most loving human being you can inside and outside the home? These are choices, people, right? This is your choice. So if you want to be a you-know-what outside and inside, that's all on you. Don't blame anybody else when negative consequences come. Be a leader, be a teacher. And it starts with kids, it starts with your brothers, your sisters. Look, if the relationship doesn't work, it doesn't work. If you have to estrange your family, so be it, because maybe they're an evil family. They'll never love you. So be it, that's okay. But go create your own family. You don't have to have kids, but your family could just be your loved one, your soulmate. That's all you need in this life, in my opinion. But if you guys want to have kids, have kids. But don't punish them like that. That's not punishment. That's abuse, right? So it's time to end this old tradition. It's so sad to even call it a tradition. Of abuse, mass ignorance. This is violence. This is the war at home that nobody wants to talk about. Oh, you probably deserved it. You probably deserved to be spanked. Really? Really? Let's continue on here. So what's next then? If your children deserve to be struck on the buttocks, on the face, slapped in the face. I mean, I know there's parents out there who actually punch their children. They hit them with objects that cut and cause bruising. What's next? You want to hit your spouse because she doesn't agree with what you're saying? She's not obeying you, so-called master. You want to abuse your pet? You want to hit the dog? You want to hit the cat? Because there's many people who do that. Being feared is not being loved. There is no honor in fear. There's only disgrace. So, all those people who say, I want to be a king who's feared. I'm sorry. I want to be a king who's loved. Because if I die, everybody's going to remember me. A king that is feared, nobody cares. Who's next? Okay, let's take up the mantle. Let's take up the crown. Nobody's going to remember you. Everybody feared you. It's in our human nature to want to have fun, to celebrate the gift of life. You either cherish it on a daily basis or you don't. You'll be a loser forever. And don't ever be grateful. That's just the way it is, people. And here's another form of hypocrisy for those people who support spanking. What about the prisoners of war missing in action? You know, POW MIA, you are never forgotten, right? So, all those people who are patriotic out there who support striking, abusing your kids. So, you support this as well. So, you understand what the enemy is doing, right? So, you're going to become a prisoner of war. They're going to strike you till you're bruised and battered and bleeding and cut, probably take limbs off you. Oh, but that's okay, you know, and waterboard, whatever. Hey, have fun with it because, hey, you got to get them to do what you want them to do, right? It's discipline. You see how hypocritical this is? And I, as a U.S. Army veteran who deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan, I have the right to actually remind people back home of the love that they lost. It's disgraceful. People who support abuse of children, a.k.a. spanking, is disgusting. Sorry to say the word disgusting. It's just downright. It's just me coming back home is like, this is what I fought for parents to continue abusing their children and not learning anything. Alcoholics who strike their spouses, who abuse their dogs, and everybody, you know, and they don't go get therapy, no honor, and this hypocrite. It's just hypocrisy, and nobody's going to talk about it because they don't care. Oh, you do whatever you want with your kids. How ignorant is that? So here's a solution, okay? I grew up with martial arts by my own choice. Okay. Karate, Taekwondo, Muay Thai, kickboxing. I mean, those are my martial arts. And yes, I am very well versed in it. Almost 35 years now. Mind, body, and spirit. Why don't you teach your children this? Because this is the best form of discipline you can find. Why? Because you teach them how to become fighters, how to become leaders, how to work with that person by their side. Their battle buddy, just like the Army, right? But far better than the Army, because the Army, they like to yell at you, they like to haze you. We don't need any of that garbage. Here, patience, respect, integrity, humility, perseverance, calmness, balance, coordination, flexibility, muscle tone, endurance, agility, memory, perfection, confidence building, self-control, focus, adaptability, and goal setting. And so much more. It doesn't even fit on this list. So much more. So buy your child a punching bag. Tell them to take out any of their stress from school, from just life frustrations. Go hit that bag. I recommend a standing XXL water bag because it can be anywhere, an apartment, wherever. Fill that bad boy with water and let him go to town on it. And you too. Go get one for yourself or share the bag. A family punching bag, and teach everybody to take out their stresses on that bag. Not each other. Arguments destroy. Discussions build. So, yeah. I think that is everything. So any questions in the comment section, fire them off now or forever hold your peace. I hope you enjoyed this stream in an educational way. I feel that it was very necessary. It's a huge part of everybody's lives. It should be. Whether or not you were spanked or not. You're lucky if you were never spanked. So kudos to you. You didn't have to go through any of this. But whatever doesn't kill us makes us stronger. Unless you choose to allow that those post-traumatic stress to affect you now. And you can't get over it. It becomes a disorder. So don't allow that to become a disorder, and you should be good to go. So teach others love. That's all I ask you people out there. Teach others how to love and be respectful. It's a lot more than just the word love. Okay, so that's what I'm doing on this channel. Making a lot of variety. My book, my movie, my free content, and your ability to ask me questions. Don't be antisocial. Don't be like, oh, I don't want to ask anything. No, participate. Set the example for others. And help me get the message across. That's all I got for you guys, and you bet there's going to be another show tomorrow. And, yeah, love everyone. Thanks for attending.